Welcome to this edition of Mindset Profits. I'm joined today by a young millionaire who is coming to really share some serious value. A young lady who is doing well in the ICT sector. And I'm making it a mission, part of the mission here, to talk to young people who are doing well in business and just get the stories, the mindset, and the insights of how they got to where they are. This young lady, Lerato, is still young, right?
Yeah. I'm still young.
By age 19, had built a business that had almost 200 employees. And I know, when I heard that part of the story alone, I found it intriguing because I know many entrepreneurs who take years to get to 5 employees. And some, 10 years later, they don't even get to 3 employees. So when I hear that by age 19 someone had done that much in business, it's definitely a story that I would love to hear. So Lerato, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
How does it feel to be you, to be this impressive, brave person that does awesome things?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that I'll be able to share my story with you and other upcoming young millionaires.
Who will be challenged.
Yes.
But more importantly, just get some insight into how you do things and how you think about business in general. And I know that will be valuable. Tell us about ADV, your business. What does it do?
ADV Holding is a telecommunication company.
Yeah.
We're in the telecom space, tech space.
Okay.
We do 10 key solutions. So we build fiber infrastructure, towers, microwave. We're in the wireless space, microwave, RF antennas, and we also do VSAT installation. ADV Holding has satellite capacity to connect terrestrial areas.
You know I'm smiling, right? Every time you describe your business and go technical, the language just goes woo.
I'm too technical.
In layman's terms, what do you supply?
Internet connectivity.
Internet connectivity. See, that's easy.
Yeah.
Keep it light for some of us.
Okay.
But thank you. We're glad that you're here. Now, take us back to that young Lerato coming out of school and deciding, let me start a business. Why? Why that decision to start a business instead of a job, for example? What was going on in your life then?
I mean, we're living in a day and age where you've got a lot of graduates that are unemployed.
Yeah.
And I was in a dark place and I was, questioning myself, what's the way forward, because I was unemployed and I couldn't, even if I wanted to, even if I got something, it was not in my field. It was either modeling, retail, but I've always been technical.
Also, you did get job offers.
Yes, I did get job offers as a model. I used to be a model.
Model to tech business.
Yeah, but I've always been a technical person, even at home. I remember when I was growing up as a young girl, I used to like fixing kettles, and if there's a problem with the TV or the remote or the aerial, remember the olden days we had these
aerials on top of TV.
Yes, now I would open it up and I'll try to fix things. And I grew up with the boys. Like I was a tomboy all my life. I would play soccer and hang out with the boys because I loved how advanced, how boys think. They dream big and they want to disrupt other sectors like mining, agriculture, telecommunication. So I was intrigued when I was growing up. I mean, my uncle used to work for Telkom. I would be so excited when he used to pick me up and take me on site. I remember they were doing brownfield. Now we're in greenfield. Brownfield is copper, where they used to do cable jointing. Remember, I would go to site with my uncle, and I was intrigued about all the wires, how they connect, and I had a good time when I was on site instead of when I'm at home playing with my cousins and playing with dolls. I was not interested in that.
Okay, wow, that's a beautiful story. So when you were going on these trips, you get excited about the business and the sector in general.
Yes.
And you get a technical qualification. What degree or diploma did you get
It's
at
a
the time?
diploma. It's I'm a telecoms engineer. We do support and we build infrastructure, telecoms infrastructure.
All right. And then the decision to say, I'm leaving the job space, I want to be an entrepreneur.
I've always knew that there was something different about me, and I've always been, courageous. I've always been intrigued. I always surrounded myself with people that are older than me, that had more experience than me, and I knew that this is the journey that I was gonna take. From a young age, I knew that I was gonna be that girl. I knew that I was gonna be the boss lady, and that's when I decided to open ADV Holding in 2013, and I pursued what I loved, which is telecommunication.
And you've been doing this for years. So when I hear your story, and in particular that you started the business, and in not so long you had nearly over 180 employees.
Yes.
That's a lot for a young person to handle to begin with.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe it myself. I remember when I got my first contract, it was in Benoni, and I had to build fiber infrastructure, which is FTTX, it's fiber to site. So
Okay.
it means you connect tower to tower. In
All
a
right.
simplest
I'll try
term.
and keep up.
Yeah. So, it takes over 180 guys to be on site in order for you to deliver and meet your targets. Because what we would do is we would build infrastructure, and I was the only young female on the ground. I mean, we were like 50 to 30 subcontractors,
Okay.
and I was the only black young female on site, and that was exciting, but it was also scary because, there was a bit of anxiety because I'm around, older men. Nochal, it was older men. It was not just, like my peers on site. It was older men in the telecommunication space that had vast experience in the telecoms. And I was lucky, and there's an element of luck as well. I was lucky to get a contract, and I had 180 employees on site, which was exciting, but also it was,
Challenging
it
itself.
was challenging.
All right. So when you say you were the only female black business owner on site,
Yeah.
that means male-dominated sector,
Yeah.
white-dominated
Yes.
sector, which is a reason for many young ladies to not go to that industry. But
Yeah.
for you, you decided to go straight to the fire.
It was really exciting for me to be on the ground in a sector that is male dominated and white dominated. It was exciting. It was challenging. I love challenges. I love to challenge myself, and I think that's why that sector suited me so well, because I love to fix problems. I'm the fixer.
Is that how your business started? You found some problems. Did you do some kind of research?
I remember I already have the telecoms background. So it was just a matter of me being on the ground and just registering a company. And, I've got the skill, and the challenging part was the business side, whereby you have to get mentors in order for you to be able to be successful in the telecommunication space. I had to let go of being in the trenches, being technical, and move to being a businesswoman.
Okay, which is good, because there are a lot of people that have technical qualifications that struggle with business, not
Yeah.
because they're not good at what they do,
Yeah.
but it's all they're good at. They're not good at the marketing part, they're not good at the running the finances part.
Yeah.
When you look at things like that, I'm sure you've seen many entrepreneurs struggle as well.
Yeah.
Start businesses and never get to 3 employees, never get to 5 employees. What is the difference with how you started and grew your business? Your approach. How was your approach different?
Okay, so in the telecommunication space, there's a niche market. And what happened was when I tapped into the telecommunication space, and as I've said, I was in the trenches. Then mentorship is very crucial for you to have. For instance, Ntate Matseke, he's the former CEO of BBI, and he's my mentor.
Ah.
Yeah, so you surround yourself with people that are aligned in your goal and that have the same vision as you, and you sit down with them. Like normally I would ask questions. I would be, would call me for a meeting and say, let's do coffee. But I want to know how to connect via satellite. And I learned a lot from my mentor. I mean, Mr. Matseke have taught me a lot, more especially taking me out of the trenches and putting me as a businesswoman.
You know who I want us to help?
Yeah.
A young lady that's inspired by you going to a mentor and is trying to picture you having that conversation with your mentor and asks you, what kind of questions would I ask in that conversation so I learn? Do you have one or two questions that you would remember asking your mentor?
Yeah, there are two critical questions that you need to ask him. I mean, you need to tell him, this is where I start, and this is where I want to be in the next 6 months, and this is where I want to be in the next five years. So you need to ask him, how do we get there?
Ah, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's very critical.
I like it because it's open enough for him to drive in all of his experience.
Of course.
It's open-ended.
Of course. Where do we go? Do we start here? And where are we going? So you have to have, you have to be goal-orientated.
All right.
It's
So
very important.
That was the one big question. This is where I am, this is what I have, but this is where I want to go.
Yes.
Help me with a way of getting there. How
Yeah.
do we get there?
I'm still learning. I mean, my goal,
Oh, you haven't stopped? the
No, I
mentorship?
haven't. My end goal, it's not even an end goal. My goal is for me to launch a satellite in the next 5 years.
Okay, we are Elon Musk vibes.
Of course.
All right, that's beautiful. So that's one question. What's the second one?
And the second
With the
one
mentor.
is, the second one is he needs to help you to be consistent. Consistency is very important. I mean, it's raining. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
It's raining. You need to be on site around 6 o'clock in the morning, meaning you have to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it's raining, and it's cold, and you're looking at your warm bed, and you're thinking, should I stay in or should I go? So consistency means that you wake up and you go and you get things done.
So your mentor became your accountability partner.
Yes, he would call me 4 o'clock in the morning. He would say, are you up? Will you be in the Northern Cape around 6 o'clock? Meaning you have to catch the first flight out and be on site. And he would hold me accountable.
Wow. I'm curious though. Is it because there are many that will say, I need a mentor like that.
Yeah.
What advice are we giving them? Do they pay a mentor, or you just find someone who believes in you enough to just help you without paying?
I think that you get mentors that you can pay for, but I was lucky because remember, I would surround myself with people that are more intelligent than me, that are more goal-orientated than me. I've always watched the people around me. I keep a small circle. And if you don't add value in my life, you're not going to be in my life.
You see, that sounds powerful, right?
Yeah.
And scary at the same time. Because I'm thinking, if I'm your friend and you decide I'm not relevant anymore, I'm going to get cut. How does that conversation go? Do you just ghost me, or you'll tell me, Mkhotsi, I think our journey ends here?
No, in any relationship, you get to a point, it's either we move together or we outgrow each other. And you need to understand, once you've outgrown, friends, family, you only have one goal. And my goal is that satellite. So I will do whatever it takes for me to get to building and launching that satellite in the next 5 years. I mean, if I sit down with my peers and I tell them about launching a satellite, it's scary. It's a joke, you know. And sometimes it takes the most craziest people to change the world.
All right. You are fairly confident right now.
Yeah.
And you are not afraid to walk to corporates, to walk to government departments and just strike deals. It's easy for you.
It's not a matter of easy. If it doesn't scare you, it means that you're not doing anything, you're not doing something correct. It needs to scare you. You need to be scared. Your dreams must scare you. And then you know that you are definitely going to make it. You're definitely going to make it, because fear, you need to learn how to navigate fear.
I like that because I heard Cher, old school musician.
Yeah.
She was having her 78th birthday, and one person asked her why she's still working
Yeah,
at 78.
yeah,
Well, she said, number one, she loves singing. She's herself when she's singing. But one of the things she also said was, I've always had stage fright, which is surprising for
Yeah.
a global superstar.
Yeah.
I've always had stage fright, but the fear was never enough to stop me.
yeah. You need to learn how to navigate fear, and you need to learn how to be by yourself. I mean, a lot of people want to be associated with friends, companies, and, you know, sponsorship in order for them to be successful. You need to learn how to be alone and be okay with it. If you cannot spend a weekend by yourself, there's something wrong with you.
All right, that's beautiful. So you get these contracts. You've had multi-million contracts before and handled them well.
Yeah.
There's one show that I like. It's called I Blew It.
Yeah.
How did you not end up there? What was different about you and how you handle your money? Because you've handled way more money than those guys on that show,
Yeah.
but you're still standing and going strong.
I think, as I've said to you, being responsible and holding yourself accountable and surrounding yourself with people that are more intelligent than you, they've got more expertise and experience, and, you know, they've done it before, then they will tell you what mistakes they've made. So you don't want to learn from experience. I mean,
You want to learn from other people's
yeah,
mistakes.
you learn from other people's mistakes, and you're like, no, I'm not going to end up, I don't want to end up like them. You know what I mean? So I think I was blessed to have a good team. I call them the cream of the cream. You know,
Yeah,
my team, as I've got coaches, like, you know, I've always worked with people that always support me
Okay.
and that believe in me and that tell me what time is it, and they could read the room temperature to say, no, we're not doing that. You know, not like I've been perfect. I've had episodes where I want to go to a club and pop champagne, but my mentors and my coach will say to me, okay, rather do Pilates, rather go to gym, you know, rather play golf,
Okay.
or travel, instead of you focusing on popping champagne and, you know, living the high life, whereby there's nothing like that.
I love it when you talk about your team.
Yeah.
Just your poise. It's
Yeah.
a poise of someone who's really proud of the people that are there. How did you, because this is something that's not easy for entrepreneurs to get right. Many get it wrong there, and you see good businesses struggle to grow, not because the product is bad. Product is good and
Yeah.
customers love it, but the people in the team are just not making it work.
Yeah.
Or there's something wrong with the relationship with the leader.
Yeah.
How did you get it right? And how did you get good people to believe in you when you were this young, petite lady?
I remember when I was doing the VSET project,
Yeah.
the satellite project. The marketing team I had, there's no white or black or Indian,
Yeah.
but I had like a mixture of race.
Okay.
I always want to have a sense of balance. So what I do is I would hire people with expertise and also hire from different races. Then you get a different perspective on
Coming into the pool.
Yes, yes.
That's beautiful. Hey, that's a neat. I need to adopt that. I need my notes now.
So you would have management, I would mix management. So you would have Indians, whites, and blacks, and coloreds. I would mix them because I wanted to see, how I can grow my business and who to take with me. So there are times where I would feel like, okay, these guys are just taking advantages of me because I'm young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the oldest that I hired would be like 45 to 50. That would report to me on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Rian, he was my project manager.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rian. He was my project manager. He was like 52 years, and I've learned a lot from him. Shout out to Chris, who was also on the marketing side. Shout out to King, who was on the account side, and legal side it was Utepo. So I had a combination, so I could learn from these people, and I learned a lot. And even now I'm happy to, I've continued working with them. We're still working together, and now we are taking ADV Holding. We're putting ADV Holding into an international playground. We're no longer just focusing on Africa. Remember now we've got.
We've gone beyond Africa. I thought you were talking Africa.
No, when you have a satellite capacity, it means that you can connect Africa in terrestrial areas. You're connecting them via satellite. You're building communities like Edujwa, Eslaleni, Maputo or Zim. Satellite can connect everywhere.
All right, so let's look at the work that you've done.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you, with the clients you've worked with, the places you've gone to, what are some of your proudest moments?
Oh, my highlights is when we build infrastructure and we build it before, there's targets that they set for us, and we would deliver before that target. That's when you're showing off, that's when you've got a good team, and the client can't even believe that you've delivered on record time, and you and your team are just excited, and everyone is happy, and you've got most of the time I'd have 200 employees on the ground. I'm talking about your health and your health and safety guys, your PMs, your supervisors, your laborers, that guys that does trenching, and you've hit target. And everyone is excited, and I'm excited. I get to site, and I'm like, yeah, we did it, and that feels good because they understand the mission and the vision of the company.
All right, so this is with the team, and that's such a beautiful story that you tell, and I love the smile and the whole aura you have.
I'm so proud. My team, they never let me down.
Have you had clients and customers come and say thank you?
Oh, I've had a lot of clients that would come and say thank you. And there are times where I would want the biggest contract, and they would say, baby steps.
Okay.
You'll get there eventually.
Clients would tell you that?
Yeah, because, when I do stakeholder engagement, I always ask them, what is your budget and how can I assist? And I would want to go for the biggest contract because I'm too ambitious.
What can
I've got that Chinese mentality where I'm a one-stop shop.
Lerato. If I were to go back to you in high school, because I'm curious now about this confidence that you have, would I have seen a Lerato that I can predict that this one is going to succeed? Were you confident back then?
Okay, I had a pageant mom. Okay, so I think that's where she understood of the child and how, how I was when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I was never afraid to ask questions. I was always inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom was the pageant mom. Like, she would put me in makeup and hair and force me to go and do these pageants because I was,
Modeling.
yes, yeah. So I had a pageant mom. So she wanted to boost my confidence. So what she would do, she would put me in this pageant, and then I'll come back. Oh, Miss Lechabile. Oh, Mrs. You know. So I had a pageant mom, but I understood that she wanted me to be able. She was preparing me for now. You understand? So I was a pageant girl. So my mom used to put me in pageant competition. Any competition, even if it's just athletic sports, I'm there. My mother would make sure I'm there. Modeling, I'm there. So where I come from, they always know that, oh, that one, she's Miss So-so, she's Miss So-so, you know. Yeah.
Shout out to Mark.
Yeah.
Her lessons worked clearly.
Yeah.
All right. So if I'm looking at that, I'm curious how modeling works, because you're not the first person to mention that.
Yeah.
I was struggling with my confidence
Yeah.
until I got into pageantry. To me, from the outside,
Yeah.
I think when you go into modeling, you have a higher chance of losing as a competitor
Yeah.
than if you just stayed away.
Yeah.
How does it work to build confidence? And because there's clearly a lot of people coming and attributing that experience to building their confidence and
Yeah.
self-esteem and just how they carry themselves in public. What's the secret there? What are we missing?
I think that if we, as parents, if we could get that mentality of letting our children explore,
Mm-hmm.
and normally kids, they become dependent.
Mm-hmm.
We need to train our children to be independent. I've got a son. I allow him to fly to Northern Cape alone.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 10 years and he flies. When I'm in Northern Cape and I can't make it for me to come back home that weekend, my son he's so independent that he can fly from Oratambo to Northern Cape, and I'll pick him up in Kimberley. So my mom did that to me. She would allow me to use her bank card and say, go and withdraw money. This is what you need to do. She will show me once, and then next time she'll say, go and withdraw money at an early age.
Goodness.
And my mother would allow, you say, get into a taxi, I'll meet you in Silverton. And I would be terrified, But that experience has made me resilient, overly confident.
Wow, and we see it showing clearly.
Because I think she has given me the experience of believing in myself. That's very important. We need to allow our kids to believe in themselves and to know that they can achieve anything. There are no limits. There are no boundaries. Kids need to have that independence.
I think as we wrap up now,
Yeah.
I want your advice to different types of people.
Yeah.
If there are young ladies out there who say, I've got dreams, but the industry is locked, male are closing us out, what's your advice? What's your word of encouragement to those young girls?
Courage.
Mm.
You need to have courage in order for you to be consistent, in order for you to be resilient, in order for you to be driven. Like, you need to also be able to self-motivate yourself. There's no door that is closed. There's no such thing. You need to surround yourself with people that are more powerful than you, more smart, like that, more intelligent than you. People that are in the industry. If you want to be a pilot, associate yourself with people with eagles. You understand what I mean? People that love to fly, and people that that would push you in the right direction.
And if you want to be in
Yes.
business,
Nothing-
associate yourself with entrepreneurs.
Nothing comes easy. You need to work hard. The weaves, the makeup, the champagne life, it's all cosmetics. At the end of the day, it gets to a point where I have to take off my weave, I have to take off my makeup. I'll share the pictures where I'm on site. I wear my boots, my safety boots, my reflector vest, and my straw hat. I'm on site. You know, I'm on site. When I started, I was always on site.
So on site, the makeup goes out the window.
No makeup, no nails. It's just you, straw hat, and your management skills.
Yeah, man.
And being goal orientated. These cosmetics are just, you know, it's just, that's entertainment. That's not the real world. The real world is you working hard and being goal orientated and being ambitious. You need to think outside of South Africa. You need to think outside of Africa. You need to also think outside of the world, outside of the globe. I'm thinking space. You need.
I'm processing the space thing because I was good thinking Africa. Now you're taking it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
If entrepreneurs say, young lady, now I'm 40, I'm 50, I've been in business for years and I've never made more than 20, 30,000 a month. How are you doing? What's your advice for me? I know I'm putting you on the spot because this time you're speaking to our elders.
Yes, okay.
And as Africans, it's sometimes difficult.
Yeah, there's a word that says you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that knowledge is power. You need to read. You need to read a lot. You need to develop your skill. And don't look at, I think there's this mentality of tenderpreneur.
Yeah.
That's the worst mentality that you can throw on elderly people or youth. We need to teach problem solving. We need to teach skills. We need to teach. You need to start where you come from. You need to understand, okay, this is where I'm at. These are the challenges in my community, and how do I get out of that, of those challenges? Then you start with the community. Then you move to regional, and then you move to national.
Solving problems in each step.
Yes. You can be 50 and still, get a degree. You can be 50 and still buy that Ferrari that you've always wanted. You can be 50 and still build an empire. There are no limits.
Yeah,
it
and
starts
there are
here.
people that
Yeah,
have started.
it starts in your mind. It starts in your mind. It starts here. If you believe it, and if you see it, and if you can envision it, then, there's nothing stopping you. You can be 50. You would also need mentors. It's very important. It's very crucial for you to surround yourself. That's why I said your circle.
That's the one thing you've said a lot of times today.
Yeah.
Surround yourself
It's
with
the
people
circle.
that know more
Show
than
me
you.
your friends. I'll tell you who you are.
I'm playing golf with you next time. When are we playing golf? It's been incredibly valuable. It's always food for thought talking to you. You've learned a lot in business.
Thank you.
What's the big vision for you? Outside of the satellite, what vision do you have for your team, for example?
My vision for my team is that I want to grow with them. I want them to also open companies. I encourage them to open their own companies.
Wow, you're that boss.
Yeah, I'm that boss. No, if I'm driving a Ferrari, my friends should be driving Ferraris, and my co-employees should also have companies. They should also follow their vision, follow their goals, and follow their dreams. I encourage them to open companies. I would even say I'll be an investor. Yeah, let me invest in your product, because they've invested so much time, so much effort into ADV Holding, and they made me who I am. My team has made me who I am. I've got a good team, and I'm so thankful. Thank you, guys, and I highly appreciate you.
That is such a beautiful thing to say. They will have 200 very happy and grateful employees out there. All right, so last parting shots. Do you mentor young girls? Because I know you have a passion for young girls out there.
Yeah,
If a mother out there listens to you and says, let me find Lerato, help my daughter. Do you?
yeah, I've started mentoring in the Eastern Cape. I would have a panel of girls. I love to mentor young girls. I think that, especially in terrestrial
Areas?
careers, where,
Oh.
yeah, like for instance, your telecommunication, your AI, girls, they have to be part of that dream. They have to be part of that mission. I encourage girls to learn different languages, and I encourage girls to learn different cultures. I encourage girls to travel and see the world. I believe it's going to be very beneficial, for South Africans to start traveling and going abroad and learning skills and bringing it back home. If you see countries like Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, they're all over the world. And I think South Africans also have to take that in mind and allow youth to travel. They should have programs for youth to go and study outside of South Africa and then come back with a different skill that would uplift, youth. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get out of South Africa. It's very important. I went out. I got a satellite capacity in
Okay.
Mubadala. In Mubadala.
Okay.
My satellite sits, the company that granted me the satellite capacity, they're sitting in Mubadala. It's Yasat.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I'm taking Yasat capacity and bring it back home, connecting terrestrial areas, I believe in building a goal. Like, we need to build our young women. We need to build young women. We need to encourage them, and to expand, and get out of South Africa and learn. Like other countries, we have Zimbabweans, we've got Nigerians here, we've got Kenyans here. I've worked with Malawans on the ground. I've worked with different employees from different countries. But when I go to Mars, they're like, "Oh, South Africa, you're finally here."
We are a rare breed.
Yes, we are a rare breed. Chinese are everywhere. So I think South Africa should have the same, mentality to go out there, acquire skill, and come back home, and spread it.
That's a beautiful thing, because as you're talking about it, I'm thinking of one of the countries that implemented this and really well, Rwanda.
Yes.
One of the key strategies they use behind their success, and almost everyone now knows what their success looks like from where they were.
Yeah.
The president got in and called out all the Rwandans that are in other countries, that were successful entrepreneurs in other countries with powerful qualifications, and said, come back home and let's build Rwanda.
Of course,
that's going out, getting the skills, and then coming back and adding so much value, and it worked in a huge way.
Yeah, and it broadens up your mind. When you travel a lot, it broadens up your mind. You would live here as a teacher, and then you'll come back as a doctor. You'd live here as an entrepreneur. Like when I was here, I was just focusing on building fiber infrastructure. And then I came back wanting to, launch a satellite. So I hope when I launch a satellite, we will have this conversation again where you'll say, how did you do it? How did you launch a satellite?
I am waiting for that day. I cannot wait. I'm telling you, I'm coming.
You are definitely invited when I launch my satellite.
We'll record the launch.
Yes, please.
Okay. Check out this episode on this day.
Yes.
Here's the launch.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us until this time. And remember, we grow because of what you do. Like, share the episode. I know there will be so many young people that will be encouraged, so many young girls that will be encouraged, and even other entrepreneurs that have been in the game for a while and they're struggling. If anything, this episode should have shown you that it actually can be done. Thank you, and see you on the next episode.
Thank you.